Hello there, it's Dusty Thunder with yet another Reddit story for you. This one comes from AITA and goes like this. Am I the astronaut for turning my girlfriend, 27 female and eyes, 28 male, canceled romantic vacation into a boys' trip and going without her? I'm sure she thinks you are, sir. About 8 months ago, my girlfriend and I planned a vacation. We were both really looking forward to it. It was going to be our first vacation together. It was a really romantic destination and we had a lot of different things planned. She went and bought fancy lingerie. It was really supposed to be a romantic rendezvous and was a big deal for both of us. However, about 3 months after we planned it, my girlfriend was offered a job that was substantially better than her last one with a significant pay raise. This meant my girlfriend wouldn't have the time off anymore to go on the vacation. Still, we discussed it and mutually understood that it meant more savings for us in the future. Overall, it was in the best interest of our future plans that she accepted the job offer and we would replan our vacation, and I supported that decision. I already took the time off and I still really wanted to go, and my girlfriend and I had already replanned our vacation there, but it was for 6 months away. So when the time came and I still had the time off, I had a kind of spur of the moment idea to still go and invite the guy friends. I asked my girlfriend, is she okay with this? And she maintained the entire time that she would be happy for me if I had fun. Feel like that's going to be an important line later on. When I went there, my friends and I went to a few different events around the city, went clubbing once and had fun. It seemed like the more fun I was having, the more my girlfriend's attitude changed. She began to respond to text much shorter, seemed more distant, and at times, even a bit sour. Okay, I'd like to time out for two things right here. Let this be a learning moment for you, sir. The more time you spend away from her, the more you're supposed to miss her. The more time you spent away from her, the happier you got. So I'm sure she was looking at this and being like, excuse me, sir. But also, I'm trying to wrap my brain around the fact that you went on the romantic rendezvous getaway themed vacation with your bros and how all that worked out. It would be like it'd be like Stevie and David whenever she gets the free hotel room, but it's like the honeymoon suite. And they got rose petals and stuff everywhere. That would have been funny. Finally, on the fourth night, she texted me to say that she was feeling a bit depressed. She had a death in her family earlier that day. She was working, feeling overwhelmed, and that she was really disappointed that I was in our vacation spot without her, clubbing, etc., while she was working to save money for our future. Okay. Now it changes a little bit. I asked her if she had expected me to stay home when she couldn't go, and she told me it was too vague of a question, but answered generally no, and then promptly told me she loved me and we said our goodnights. I gave her my condolences and tried my best to be more active in texting her for the next following days, but she just seemed so short and disconnected. I've been home for 2 days now and it's still the same. She is disconnected and short, irritable, and even mentioned that this trip wasn't my only big vacation of the year and asked me how much money I have saved for our future together, and genuinely seemed disappointed that I only have a fraction of what she has saved. We're both supposed to be saving a lot of money now while we can to get a good head start, but I've told her a few times that I'm doing a bad job at saving the money. I have this gut feeling that she's massively turned off by the fact that I left without her and maybe a bit jealous, but at the same time, I can't tell if it was insensitive of me to go. We have always maintained that we're very deeply in love. Otherwise, we have a great bond and are really serious about one another. Okay, there's the end of the story, ladies and gents. Pam, yeah, she's jelly. She's jelly, but here's... Why you gotta go and make things so complicated? It gets complicated because she, in the very beginning, was like, yeah, go have fun. After that moment, she no longer has the right to contest any of this, right? Because she signed off on it. She's gonna feel what she feels, though, and that's where this becomes a separate thing. It's not just about the trip right now. Yes, she is upset because she didn't get to go on this, and she was left behind working and then had time to sit there and stew and think about how much she's giving to this relationship that you are not, because you're out there having fun and she's over here working to save money. And oh, by the way, beyond that, you haven't saved or worked as much as she has to contribute to this relationship and your future either, which probably didn't become a huge thought until she had the idle hands time to sit there and stew about it and really thought about the imbalance of things. So it was an imbalance in the beginning with he's having fun, I'm not, and then it became further tilted with a focus on all the other things that made it an imbalance and unfair in her mind. But she signed off on it. that's where this gets complicated for me, because I'm like, generally, yeah, like I feel like you probably should have known better to not go, especially if the whole saving money theme was a thing before this trip. You should have been like, you know what? Yeah, I'll focus on us and save for our future. And that would have been a great decision that made her feel really good about where you are in your relationship. But she signed off on it. Candy Thunder, I got to bring you back up because I have to have a woman's perspective on this.
I wouldn't care if you went. If I couldn't go and I was focusing on my career, I'd be like, yeah, go have fun. Like, you have a great time while I'm here.
That's how she felt at first, too.
I would not change my mind. But maybe that's because I know how hard you work and I want you to have a good time. Because when you come back and we're going to do this in 6 months, like, I have no problem bearing 90% of the load for a week or 10 days while you're gone. I have no problem earning extra money to put towards a fund that is for us, for you to do something if this is not a normal thing. If you're not going on vacations every other week and this is like a one-time thing, like, go do it. Like, you only live once and it was already paid for. It was already done. She signed off. If you know that you're going to get pissed off, don't sign off on something. Don't say, yeah, sure, go ahead, have the best time of your life, and then get pissed that they went.
This is also the first time they're encountering this, because it was going to be their first romantic getaway. So they're experiencing a lot of firsts here. And this is probably like the first time they've been in this kind of situation together, and they're figuring out how to communicate through it. And ultimately, I think it comes down to that.
Right.
It's a communication issue, which means it's a them issue, which means it's an everyone sucks here.
It might be an ESH. I think when you're in a relationship and somebody asks you a question and you answer that question and you give permission, what they're looking for, you come to an agreement, she was going to go, you forfeit your right to get pissed off at him going. Like, you can't say, yes, I want you to go, I want you to have a good time. And then whenever he goes and has the good time, you're like, hey, but you're not saving as much. You're not doing as much. Right. Those should have been issues that she presented before. He should have thought of them too. So that's why I'm saying ESH. But I think she sucks worse. I'm like, if you don't want somebody to do something because that was something you were supposed to do together, then speak up. Yeah. Like, say what you mean and mean what you say, because she did not do that, in my opinion. She said, and people were asking what she said, and he made it very clear.
People are also saying she had a death in the family too, but remember, the death in the family was like that last day, and she had issues with becoming short before that. So while that may explain her headspace that day, it does not explain the days prior. Right. And this was a buildup, so it can't be isolated to that.
Not everybody reads tone the same way. Like, not everybody understands it the same way. If you want to say something, speak up and say what you mean, because otherwise people can interpret that however I can say, have a good day, and somebody can interpret that I'm being a bitch. And if I don't sing-song my voice, but to some people, I just said, have a good day. So if you mean something, if you want to say something, say it, because if you don't, you're going to lead to shit in your relationship like this, where somebody's pissed off, somebody doesn't understand it, X, Y, and Z. Speak your mind.
Also, if she did say this with a tone, she's learning a lesson now too. Like, right. That didn't work, so maybe I won't do that the next time. Or maybe I've got to talk to him about, hey, when I say things with a certain tone, here's what this means. I didn't want to lose this. Paula, your comment with the super there, communication, ESH, because they both seem to be bad at communication, but he is worse since he has no emotional intelligence. If she had a problem with him going due to the money, she had to speak up.
I don't understand why he has no... If I told him to go do something and to go have fun doing that thing, and he went and did that and went and had fun, I'm the one that has shitty emotional intelligence, because I didn't mean what I said to him, and I still said it knowing that it would burden myself by saying that.
But on my side, I would think that I am a good enough husband to not ask if I could still go in the first place and take my bronies with me.
I would want you to do that,
to what was supposed to be our first romantic getaway. I would want
you to, like, if I couldn't go, like, I just don't get it. Like, I'm not going to be selfish with that. And, like, you allowed me to go do that with my friends, and it was one of the best things that I've ever done for myself. And I would want to give that to someone else if I had the opportunity to give that to someone else, because that meant something to me, and I know what that feels like to be able to do that. So no, I'm not changing my mind on this. I think she sucks way worse than he does.
Where would you put her?
I think she needs to speak up and quit. Tones don't work all the time. So speak up and just like say exactly what you're trying to say so that they understand what you mean.
Which is the whole learning communication early in the relationship thing. And that's it. Like,
I say this as someone who used to be this girl. I used to not say what I mean. And I know how bad life sucks when you don't say it. If you think it and you make all these things up in your head, in that they're supposed to understand, and they don't, because women and men are not on the same level when it comes to that kind of like thought process. So I know from experience, from 20 some years of experience being this person, it does not work in a marriage. It actually is detrimental to a marriage. Yeah. So I don't change my mind on this. I think she sucks. I think
where would you
it was
put
a
her?
learning moment. I think she's ass con too.
I would agree. Because it's a definitely shouldn't have done.
He can go between 3 and 4 in my opinion, but that's how I feel.
Hey, Tony, we've got to go on a romantic getaway this weekend.
Go for
You
it.
ready? You got your go bag?
Go for it. I'm rewatching Selling Sunset. I'm gonna have me time. I'm gonna take a bath. Go for it.